Welcome to Down South Football Podcast, man. We're here recapping another great weekend of college football, man. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Some teams had a great weekend, some teams did not. Some people had a great weekend, some people did not. As is the world of college football, as continues to go and go and go. Well, we have fights, we have altercations, we have people with broken bones, we have people with all kind of things going on. We have teams going down, we have teams celebrating, we have teams losing. But guess what? That's all about the things that make college football great. So we're here up in this thing, man. It's your boy Bernard D. Williams for Down South Football Podcast. Of course, we got our man, Mr. D.L. Gardner, 205, David Gardner, Mr. Our boy Ed Chauncey Tuck, Senator Tuck, and we got Peter Ward, aka DJ. I am DJ Duncan, aka Lee Corso, aka whatever, anything you can think of. AKA, hold on, aka I can't take nothing from that. All that gets to equals Ben Dennis. Good afternoon, evening, fellas. How y'all doing?
Uh,
Man, I'm okay, man.
yeah,
I'm all right.
I'm doing all right. My heart broke, but I'm okay.
I'm feeling fan effing tastic, sir. I'm doing great today. Had an awesome weekend.
You know the people gonna start thinking something wrong with you every time they see you with a cup.
And they gonna think you need to go to a meeting. That's gonna be your next stop.
Then I recommend that you watch the show Mom.
Uh,
I recommend that you look up the show Mom that was on CBS, and I recommend that you watch it.
Yeah.
And if anybody out here know that, they already laughing. They know why. But anyway, man, it was a great weekend again for some more college football. Busy weekend for a lot of people, but uh, just a few headlines. Washington went ahead and let Jimmy Lake go
Yes.
because of some things that had happened. We had that happen. We
mhm.
also had this weekend. We had some ugliness that went on. Um, there's some ugliness that happened down in the swamp in Gainesville, where the Sanford Bulldogs, who always play these teams tough, first of all.
Yes,
Also,
we it took a pick six for us to beat them a few years ago.
Oh, don't
Yes.
worry, Auburn is struggling with them too. Everybody had their struggle with Sanford, but because Sanford has
Yes.
that talent. Okay,
hmm
you know when I looked up, it was like 35-28, and it said second quarter, and I was just like,
That can't be this. What's going on?
what's not that they were leading, but it was in the second quarter. Y'all got
Right.
73 points in the second quarter. Then I looked up, it was 42-35 was the halftime score
Yeah.
with Sanford.
Yeah.
What was y'all impressions from this game, man? What do y'all think? And before we say this, I just want to know one more thing before we get into it, before we talk about it. And just I want y'all to think about this just for a minute or so. How do y'all feel this is going to do for Mr. Mullins? Are we getting ready for
Man, look, no, look.
put that stuff in? Are we putting the stuff in down in Gainesville?
That they've showed the numbers. That is the most points that they have at the University of Florida. Forget the opponent that they've ever given up in the first half of a ball game. Let that sink in for a minute. 42, regardless of the outcome, you gave up 42 points in the first half. That's the most points in your school history that you've given up in the first half of a ball game. I still, as wacky as that was, they pulled out the win. I still think Dan's going to get one more year unless he just completely looks even worse against Missouri and somehow we blow them out at the end of the season. Then maybe yes. But I still think Dan got. Now he's skating on thin as ice. That ice is thin as
well,
hell right now.
it's not even ice anymore.
Like it's like
Yeah,
super thin, but I
it's,
still think he'll get one more year.
yeah. I mean, they're gonna get one more year because they're
Right.
gonna give him a chance to change his coordinators.
Right.
He fired Grantham,
hmm
uh,
The O line coach.
the O line coach, and that was two of the major glaring issues that they had. So I think they'll give him another chance. They'll give him another year. But I mean, look, you go from you go from technically having a moral victory of almost beating Alabama to going straight downhill. To just being mediocre, and not even mediocre. You're just there.
Bad. But
Uh,
you can go even further back. They was actually some people had them picked to win the East.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so think about that. Like you
right.
went from that's where you were preseason.
But
As we say, we try to ignore those preseason polls, but that's where you were
but
preseason to this.
I mean, again, we always talk about the helmet, and
Right.
Sanford is a school right off of Lake Show or right across the street from Brookwood Mall that's closing down every store, every existence. If you're a Chick-fil-A, you thought you could make it anywhere, you can't make it at Brookwood
Out
Mall.
of Brookwood Mall.
Yeah, no.
Hey, that's one Chick-fil-A that closed. Wow.
So, but I mean, shout out to Sanford though for playing. I mean, they're
Yeah.
balling and not just laying down just because they're Sanford. You know what I'm saying? So, Dan Mullen got some internal stuff they got to look through. I think what really hurt him is the statement he made about recruiting when he said, "I don't talk about recruiting
Recruit
right
during
now."
the season. Mm-hmm.
Are you serious, man? Come
Yeah,
on.
he dead serious too.
It's like, and he's gonna lose some battles because they had a cornerback. I can't remember his name, but he was pretty much everybody at the beginning of the season crystal ball him to go to
Florida.
Florida, and he ends up in Georgia.
Yep.
And I'm like, you can't lose those battles in your backyard, and I mean, rightfully so. I mean, you're gonna have Florida State that's gonna be picking up some steam here coming up. You're gonna have Georgia that's right. You could say that's right on the borderline of Florida. Then you're gonna have Tennessee coming in. You're gonna have Auburn coming in. You're gonna have LSU coming down the I-10. Bruh, you're gonna have to do something if you say you don't care about recruiting during the season. Yes, recruiting gets 24/7 no matter what. So that U-Haul might be pulling up pretty fast next year, and I wouldn't even give it 6 games. And that's just my prediction right
Dave, what you got?
Uh, uh, real quick, Ben said that what do you say? He's skating on ice.
Yeah, he's skating.
I think it's more like gas station slushy. Okay,
He's skating.
that's where we at now.
And
That's where
before
we
you keep going, Dave, to your point, they are 23rd. Their class is 23rd right now.
And Brian Hartson has a class of what 30 or 32 right now, Renard.
Something
So
like that.
yeah, and that's his first year, and he has two offensive linemen that can bump him into the top 15. I think if they land both offensive linemen they're trying to get one out of Auburn High School, which I think Auburn High School is pretty much going to get every offensive lineman from that school, and then you got Ahahu. I cannot pronounce it. Anyway, he's from Washington State. He's a 4-star. So what are you doing, Dan Mullen, to bump up your recruiting? But go ahead, Dave.
I'm finished. I'm finished. Go ahead, we good.
Yeah.
I, first of all, to the game, I think we gotta look at number one that they actually fired the DC, fired their offensive line coach. To me, the sign of a program that's in trouble is when your players are not playing for you anymore, or also when you're playing some of the things. It's the apathy on the field, if that makes any sense. And that just means like the effort with tackling, the effort with doing stuff, and how they looking, man. Like they just don't look like a team that is not on the same page. I mean, those are the things to me that I'm looking at. And the recruiting comment, kind of like the Bo Nix comment, I had to go back and see it in the whole context of it. The whole context of it is basically, I think what he was trying to say was that he's not concentrating on recruiting to you guys, like to the press, and you know what I'm saying. But like, hell, I know they're recruiting because Lord knows I follow it. But at the same time, it's like you just have to be careful what you say and the perception that's put out there when you're already walking on thin ice. But bro, you can't give up 52 points to Sanford and think that your seat ain't gonna be high.
Right.
I mean, that's just bottom line. But you got to give Sanford. We talking about Florida now. They played terrible, but you got to give Sanford all the credit in the world for from as the hatch attack, as we call it up here, coming in there doing their thing, letting them see what's going on, and not being afraid of the helmet, because we talked about it. The helmet is the biggest thing in games like this that people all want to go for. Oh, it's sample, or it's Morehead State, or it's this, it's that. It's like you can't do that. You can't do that, and people don't take time to look at the matchups and everything that has gone from Florida and where they are, and they continue going down, 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 down. We talk about that. Emory Jones had a record-setting day. He had a record-setting day that nobody's talking about
Right.
with this particular game. I just think Florida needs a new direction. When people were saying this, like at the beginning of the year, I was like, really, they gonna let Mullen go? But after you sit back and really look at it, take the name out of it, and just look at everything else, and sometimes it's just not what's on the field. It's everything that goes around a particular program,
Right.
not just that. It's everything that's going around the program. Sometimes it's just time for us to make a change and move forward.
Right.
But that's just a little bit on that game. But let's talk about the speaking of people on the hot seat. Sarkeesian.
Ooh, the Kansas Rock Chalk Kansas
Ray Chalk,
Jay.
Chalk Jayhawk.
The damn Jayhawks, brother.
Okay.
Go ahead. So y'all know what it is when it comes.
Yeah.
Kansas beat Texas this weekend, which those are words I never thought I would say in football right now.
Right. What was it? 52, 56 games?
Yeah, overtime.
I'm talking about the game, the Big 12 streak of Kansas losing.
Oh, that one. I'm not sure.
I think it's either 52 or 56 games they've lost in the Big 12 in a row. And for you to beat Texas on that streak, you would think you should probably maybe beat Texas Tech. TCU, maybe. Even the stretch from TCU. Kansas State, if that's your rival. For you to beat the University of Texas in Austin
and put a 57 points.
But you know what's up?
I know how the defense is, but still, you put a 57.
Bo Davis told
Hold on. But tough. Think about this. I remember a couple weeks ago when Kansas was pushing Oklahoma, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The announcers and everybody talking about them, like, I don't know why Kansas is not better, because this team is not the Kansas as we know. Because it's like, okay, Oklahoma got pushed by them and they were moving forward. The quarterback was pretty good. I mean, they wasn't bad across the place. They just wasn't at that level enough to where they was beating those teams.
Yeah.
So does this say more about the improvement of Kansas or about where Texas is?
I think it's a little bit of both, but more of where Texas is.
I'm with that too. I think it's both, but like so said, more of what Texas is, because all right, Texas, we understand, you lost to Oakland. We know some of the games and teams you've lost to that kind of everybody looked at the season was going to probably be 50-50 games. So they could win if Sark gets some things rolling, they could lose. But this wasn't one of them. Kansas wasn't one of them. And then not only to lose, like I said, you let these people come in your building and hang 57 on you. And it was a balance. It wasn't like the quarterback, like I said, he threw for 202 for 3 touchdowns. But they also had a running back who ran for $143, Neal, and he ran for 3 touchdowns. So it was a balance. It wasn't like it was a straight up air shootout type attack. It was a balanced attack. And I think that's if you a Texas fan, that got to be the most alarming part, was they basically kind of did what they wanted to do offensively. And
I mean, Bo Davis already talked about this. Bo Davis already brought this up. Some of y'all need to hit the powder. That's what he says. I mean, they're terrible on defense. They are horrible. And it reminds you of how Oklahoma is on defense back in the past years, or to some aspects right now. Oklahoma played Baylor pretty good, but Oklahoma's defense was a lot better than it was, against Baylor, because Baylor has a tough defense too. So if you're gonna have to give and take a little bit in that game, but back to this game, guys. I mean, we always hawk on Ben Davis or whatever. If that's your starting linebacker, you're in trouble. I'm sorry. And we all said that. I know I've said this personally. You're in trouble. We knew this from the jump. This
Yeah,
was
that.
going to be bad. This is not. It's not a good thing. Your defensive line is trash. Your linebackers are not flowing to the ball. Your secondary is trash. But boy, 30 days, he already said this. He talks about Texas every week. He could do a video every week on Texas if he wanted to. To be honest with you, he should do one to get it for the Kansas game. I might tweet him and say something. But I mean, what can you do mid season? What can you do during the season to change that?
They're 4-6. They got a 4-6 record right now.
Now, they 4-6. They had to come back from 21 just to get this game to where it was as far as forcing overtime and everything.
Yes.
They had to come back from 3 touchdowns down.
And with West Virginia up next week, we done seen West Virginia throughout the year. You know, they kind of play up and down, but West Virginia is a tough opponent. So
You talking West Virginia playing Texas?
Yeah, they play Texas this week.
And you know what? I'm picking Texas. This is how this Big 12 is going. That's how it's going.
And then after that, they got Kansas State. So it's like the last 2 games after this, we can't say either one of them a slam dunk. So you looking at you going from possibly 6-7 wins to you might end up finishing the season below 500.
And they started 4-1. But Dave, what you got? What you thinking about this right now?
It's gonna get worse before it get better.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you fix this is from the inside out, which means that I think I don't know if you guys posted it in the group you may have, where it says that I think Sarkisian said he can easily see having like basically a locker room full of new folks, basically.
Yep.
30
30.
Right.
He said 30 scholarship.
Yeah, so that's the only way you fix it. You can't fix it with the regime that's there. When you lose a game, if you're Texas and you lose to Kansas, you basically have just kind of packed it in. Now, they may get up and play West Virginia, but I think for Kansas, they thought they could just roll the ball out there and win.
Right.
That shit didn't happen. So it's going to get better before it get worse in Texas. And I think they'll be back in the hunt probably the 2024 season. I say in the hunt, meaning like getting to bowls, but like some good bowls. But yeah.
And I'm going to say to your point, Dave, I think Sark knows he's, like it's kind of like what Norvell did last year after he, everything happened. When he hit the portal, I think we ended up getting like 10, 11 guys out the portal. I think that's going to be his first option because, I mean, we know he got to recruit. We get that, but they need some immediate juice in there, some folks that they can plug in and can come in and try to make somewhat of it. And we all know the portal is hit or miss. So everybody you grab, they ain't gonna all hit. But he needs some guys that he can bring in there that can provide immediate impact on, and especially on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. If he can do that, then he speeds that clock up. Now
that's gonna be his best choice.
Yeah, that's how. And then that's a whole nother discussion too, is how that we'll see that in the spring, how this really gonna affect high school kids too. But yeah, go ahead, Tuck.
I'm just gonna end up with I got something else, but all I'm gonna say is does Tom Herman lose to Kansas?
I'm not gonna do that. I would compare that if it was first year to first year.
That's it. That's an interesting subject to talk about.
Let's do first year to first year. Does Tom Herman lose?
I got to look at Tom Herman first year to see.
Go ahead. That's what they said. Texas was back
with the Les Miles, Kansas. It ain't Les Miles, Kansas no more. Les Miles, Kansas. I don't think so.
No, not Les Miles, Kansas, but
this Kansas. You talking about this Kansas?
Yeah. Does this Kansas beat Tom Herman in his first year?
I don't know. I can't say yes or no to that.
So now you're gonna be your admin is gonna be spinning their wheels in like, okay, did we do the right thing, or do we have the right person? Eventually, I think it does help. But if you don't get the talent on your defensive side of the football that you have on your offensive side of football, you're gonna be in trouble. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
You got the leads on offense. You just have the leads on defense. I digress on that point.
We'll definitely get to that. I'm not even gonna go there right now about that. But let's talk a little bit about the top. I mean, the top had a good weekend for the most part. You got number 1 Georgia. Georgia took Tennessee shot. You know what I'm saying? They had that. Tennessee You know, I'm telling you, you got to watch what they're doing. They did some things up front, but Georgia do what Georgia does. They wore them down. It was a line scrimmage game. As we seen with a lot of them. In the end, it's like, okay, we're gonna hit you, we're gonna hit you, we're gonna hit you, and our defense gonna end up wearing you down. So shout out to Tennessee for the effort they gave. Alabama would play New Mexico State. I don't really think there's nothing to be too much to say about that. And then number 3. Who was number 3?
That would be was it Ohio State?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think so, yes. Ohio State did not fall victim to the spoiler makers. Their new name.
They did win by 20 plus.
Hey man, I'm telling you, them Buckeyes, they do it all the time. They just revving up for the end of the year. They rolling towards the end. It's still a gap. It's still a gap, but it's they rolling up. What's up?
Listen to me. If Ohio State played Alabama right now,
Oh boy.
If Ohio State played Alabama right now, Ohio State would get abolished. I don't believe in that.
No, I can't agree with that. No, hell no.
Let me tell you.
Not with that Alabama, not with them receivers.
Let me tell you. Right now, I think they'll get the mark. Look,
no.
Ohio State's been fool's gold for the last 2-3 years. Have they not?
If Fields wouldn't have been hurt, that would have been a whole nother conversation.
If my aunt had nothing, she'll be my uncle. I don't want to hear that if stuff.
I'm just saying, you making it seem like that they rolled out there last year against Alabama and Fields was 100%.
Look,
and they was missing folks because of COVID.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about this year. So we're talking about this year. So what you're saying is that Ohio State will get rolled this year?
No, I don't see that.
Alabama defense. I'm asking. Roll
14 plus.
I can see why you said it up front, maybe.
Yes, all about the trenches, right? What linebacker on Ohio State scares you, right?
Bro, none.
What defensive lineman on Ohio State scares you, right?
Now we know the defense is awful.
They're not awful. They're just, I'm saying, like, when you go against those monsters of the midway, I guess.
Right.
I mean, we talk about a line of scrimmage game. Now, Ohio State offensive line is solid.
It's solid.
I mean, they're solid when they decide to play.
But
most games.
One thing I'm seeing a little bit from Alabama is you got Will Anderson. He's been the constant, right?
Right.
So you're getting better linebacker play now from Tutu, Totoy, whatever his name is. You're getting better linebacker play now. He's starting to solidify himself in his role.
Just told that man name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. $2 in the bucket. Anyway, secondary is getting a whole lot better as far as the boundary side. They actually started too late this week. I'm just saying, things are getting better. They're starting to get a little bit more depth. They're trying to fill the swag out. They did start off slow, but all I'm saying is Ohio State. You know, the people in Ohio, the committee always talk about you can't look in the past years, but if you want to talk about it might get blowed out, and you talk about Cincinnati, it's a possibility that Ohio State get blows out because that's what's been happening the last 2 years. They're getting blowed out.
Dave, what you think? Hold on, Chuck. What you think, Dave?
Definitely not this shit he's talking about.
Definitely not this.
Definitely not this. You talking about Alabama blowing somebody out? They had blown nobody out, but New Mexico State and damn Miami.
And they just had issues with LSU, who didn't even have their best thing.
Man, look, I'm not
gonna count no LSU game. I'm done with that.
I'm not gonna get into the whole thing of whether they gonna get blew out or not or whether they win. Look, man, at the end of the day, Ohio State will be there and Alabama won't. So this is all subjective.
Ooh,
ouch!
Like that.
Ouch!
I like that. George is gonna take care of business in a couple weeks. I like that.
I
like that.
Ooh, my Lord.
And I drink to that.
Ben.
Hey, Dave, but you know what? Dave, to your point, like you said, to your point, George just go out there and take care of business, and we ain't even got to have this conversation.
Speaking of getting rolled,
go ahead, Dave.
I was talking about the SEC championship. You talking about a rolling, and I don't really care who get there.
Right. You don't care? I know if it's gonna be like that, I think Georgia people want Alabama to be there. I don't think they want nobody else.
No doubt, but we always got look. The SEC,
I know.
The SEC office wants two teams in that thing now.
They ain't gonna get to this year.
Well, let me ask you this: we were talking. They were talking about this on the playoff show last week about how it could happen even with Alabama with 2 losses.
If it's a close loss,
ain't no way, boy. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
If it's a close loss,
Matter of fact, if they do that, I'm turning in my resignation to the show. I'm no longer watching any more college football.
Don't say this.
I'm done. I'm watching FCS and below.
Nothing else. I can't even knock you on that because there's somehow they could squeeze Alabama in over undefeated Cincinnati, and they somehow make up an actual logical reason for it.
Watch this. What old buddy say when he say hit it with the flex? What he say? Watch me work.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Anyway, we'll continue that conversation. A whole different thing.
A whole bunch of hypotheticals. So I'm just
right. It's a whole bunch of hypotheticals that go into that particular argument at this point in time. But that we'll get to that. Anything else? But before we go, we got to talk about the monster that happened Saturday at 2:30 down in Lee County. It was 11. Which became, truth be told,
11.
What?
It was 11.
It was 11.
It was 11.
Before we do that, did we want to touch on Oklahoma eliminating themselves?
Oh yes. Thank you. That's what it was.
Yes. Before we go, let's talk Oklahoma eliminating.
No, because I'm not going to stay on the other topic long. I'm not even going to go into all that, but that's a whole other show with that other topic. But we'll get there. Oklahoma and Baylor.
Well, hold on. But also, let's get the formalities out of the way. Congratulations, Wake Forest. All right, that's it. Okay, go ahead.
We got
Oklahoma and Baylor. Okay. Who rolled with Oklahoma? Oh, okay. So you don't know what that shocked on his pal.
I'm looking like it got so bad, like you said, it got so damn bad. They put Spencer back in the game. That's how bad it got. Like the hope of like we were talking about pre-show about everybody says the backup quarterback. Everybody been clamoring for Caleb. It got so bad they actually had to go say, hey Spencer, we finna throw you back in the game, bro. This ain't looking good. We need a spark.
Well, the reason why. Number one, you got Dave Aranda on the other side that's scheming. Baylor got a really good team, overall team. The other thing is when it gets down to it, Caleb, for all the talent in the world, he's been making these Superman plays. Right. And y'all and Dave, my witness, we've been talking about it. I told him, I said, man, he's just making too many spectacular plays and not progressing. Think about it. He made the play against Texas, running to the right, slinging it back off his 1 foot for a 70-yard great throw dive. Then you had the next week where he stole the ball from somebody, you know what I'm saying, and made the first down and won the game. Okay, at some point, you're going to get to somebody, you ain't going to be able to do that again.
And he ran into that Saturday.
That's why like everybody, Spencer Brown needs to leave. I'm like, no, he don't. This is why y'all fans and y'all dumbasses ain't coaches. So it's like, you know what? Rattler came back in. But to me, in the end, I don't think if Rattler starts that game, that they win that game. Their best chance to win that game was with Caleb.
Yep.
Baylor is just a better damn team.
Speaking of better, I think the better quarterback is in Baylor too. Your boy that you don't like.
Bohannon. Bohannon.
Bohannon does not like my boy
Bohannon.
No, he can't take that from me.
I don't watch 3 games with Bohannon. 3 games. No, I mean, it's not that I don't think he's a solid quarterback. He's that quarterback you got to watch every play because he's going to be there one play he gonna sit there and get that take that 3-step drop, and he gonna stare down that damn out route, and that corner be like, oh, he doing it again. Pick six to the house.
Oh, you finna throw it. Oh, you finna throw it.
I'm just saying, bro. I don't know what it is about me and him. Like, I think he's a good quarterback, but I just feel like, he's a good quarterback that's gonna make that mistake, and it's just like a couple of his interceptions have been like Jeremy Johnson-esque interceptions. Like, okay, you do the linebacker drops in cover 2, right? No, apparently you don't. That's why you throw that little curl out right there. Like, you ain't okay.
I've never seen anybody throw a better interception than Jeremy Johnson.
It'd be pretty too.
I mean, it'd be very catchable
man.
To the defense.
I saw that man when I saw against Louisville.
Oh my God, it's so sickening.
I was like, okay, this is cover 3. He need to go either to the middle or to the flat.
Bro, y'all wasn't there.
I'm like, where are you going?
Oh yeah, you was there for that one.
Oh,
I was there.
Yeah, you was there for that
one. It hurt so bad in person. I'm sure like the passes y'all saw Jeremy Johnson throw, and then on the other side, the receiver sitting there doing like this, and the DB sitting there like, yeah, you was over. Like, I mean,
yeah.
Like,
I've never seen.
How you got a receiver jumping in the middle of the field? Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
I'll just say I've never seen a quarterback have a great first half, and then all of a sudden his rest of his fucking career was like this. I mean, literally like a roller coaster. Like he go up and then the rest of it. I mean, from that point on was
it didn't come back up. It went down to drop. And
Dave, when I saw this happening, the beginning of the year before he made the transition to being full-time starter, when he played against Arkansas in Jordan Hare Stadium, and Nick Marshall was suspended for 2 quarters for having weed in his car. Arkansas was breaking on everything that he was throwing. I said, "Oh, guys, we're in trouble. If Gus don't go out there and get a quarterback, because Jeremy ain't got it, bro. I mean, you can progress, but bro, he was throwing right.
But to the naked eye, he had a great first half.
Right, and I was like, no, it was terrible. Yeah. I looked at it, I was like, y'all need to go be looking for him. His first pass, it was supposed to be a curl route. This is how bad it was. He looked to his left. It was 2 curls. Gus ain't got no route tree to save his life. So he looked to his left.
A tree? Shit, it's barely a damn branch. What the hell are you talking about? It's Dave. It's like your boy. 6 plays. Run them like butter.
6 plays. Run them like butter. Just like Novocaine. Give him no time. It'll work.
It'll work. His left. The curl right on his left, and he panned and looked to his right and threw the ball while the DB is squatting. I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Guys, we're in trouble because that's junior high level type reading defense.
That's day 1 stuff."
Yeah.
Well,
the guy was squatting.
Hold on. We don't want you mad. Let's bring this back. We were talking about. We're talking about Baylor. Oh, yeah, first of all, congratulations to the Baylor Bears. I hope Miranda stays.
And
you want to hear that fabulous stat line from Bohannon? You want to hear his fabulous stat line?
Hit me with it.
12 for 21, $117, one tutty,
is Bohannon
and 1 pick. Like, Dave, let that sink in. 12 for 21.
I represent for
117, a pick and 1 tutty.
What about rushing?
I see you in the trees with Tom.
Now, rushing wise, he did run for 107.
It ain't
okay.
It ain't
Now we talking.
It ain't Bohagan. It's Bohannon. Bohannon being me representative.
That was an amazing passing stat line. But he did.
I really like Baylor team. Hey, we all have had these players, but we just had this certain itch. Like, excuse my French, he gonna fuck this up. I'm sorry. He gonna. I mean, what he gonna do? He gonna get it. I mean, everybody has had them players you said from time to time, and people like, I don't see. I'll be like, I see it. I mean, it don't matter who it is. Everybody had that player.
And fun fact, they got Iowa State left and Oklahoma State.
Oh,
right now, they are third. in the Big 12.
You
Oh,
want
they
to
beat Oklahoma.
know what?
Baylor.
Baylor's third. So right now the standings got them Oklahoma State,
You want to
and
know
Baylor.
what was very embarrassing is when Oklahoma lost to Baylor, they was shouting SEC. The Baylor fans were shouting SEC.
Oh yeah, I heard.
And then the Kansas faithful that was there in Austin was shouting SEC. I was like, oh my God.
That is hilarious. That is freaking hilarious.
But I
And
mean,
we're gonna be fine without y'all. Not really, but
we don't need y'all money. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But I do like the Baylor team. They're a really good team. I think they take taking the personality of the head coach.
Yeah,
I really think they have, and I think they're just really good, solid, talented team. And I think they can give anybody a run for the money, and knows number 11 stays within himself.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be.
I mean, he's upgraded from what was there. That's all I can
Yes. That's true. But I'm just thinking about Baylor on being on an elite level. You know what I'm saying? Like the all the way elite. Yeah, I mean, you look at it, you be like, man, that team's really, really good, except for at this one position right here. And they just like, they every week they tell the story about how Bohannon was recruited. Well, there wasn't many people that recruited him as a quarterback and all those type of stuff. And it's like, oh, here we go.
I'm so tired of that story.
No way. You mean by the bad as hearing Patrick Nix and Bo Nix on every week?
Yeah, or Jared Stidham, he was recruited by, Gus Malzahn out of Baylor. Because, he used to play at Baylor if you didn't know that.
Well, Gus Malzahn and Art Browse are really good friends. If you didn't know that. We got to hear that every game they have it. Like, bro, okay, we get it. It's game 16 of Stidham's career in Auburn. We know.
By the way,
I don't think you got to hear this Nick story no more, though.
That's a whole different story.
Yeah,
speaking of that story.
Speaking of that story.
No more snaps, Nick. No more snaps.
They don't think he's coming back. I know. I'm 85% sure he's coming back.
I'm 95% sure.
Yeah, I'm 80. The only reason I say 85, the other 15 is just because of if something happens with the injury.
95 is the only reason is there's a 5% chance that TJ Phillips goes out here and light the world up, but I know that's not going to happen. But
it don't matter. He throw one touchdown pass. They gonna proclaim him the next Black Jesus. It don't matter.
Yeah, but does Harsin? I think that Bo comes back to Auburn under one pretense. That do you think Harsin going to stick with him?
Mm-hmm.
Would you, if you're Bo Nix, would you come back to an open competition?
Yeah,
yeah.
Because not being afraid of competition, but and also if you're Harsin, am I going to go ahead on and just try to just plant my flag for the future
and just go with my quarterback?
Because we've had rip the Band-Aid off. We've had about 4 years of frustration at this.
But you got to understand, Harsin does not have his quarterback yet. I mean, Harold Griner is not his quarterback. That's a Gus guy still. I mean, you got to give Bo. I mean, you got to give Harsin to get his QB, and that will not be 2-3 years away.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Harsin wants to win. Harson's going to play the best quarterback possible.
Yeah.
He's not doing it just because that's Patrick Nix's son. He's going to play the best quarterback. Now, if there is a competition with anybody, and that's going to be Davis, the freshman quarterback that's in Auburn right now.
I thought you talking about Davis with the red shoes. But go ahead.
Not that Davis.
For the black, for the white.
All white.
But Davis wanted to wear red. He want to be an individual.
You want to be an individual. Anyway, yeah. It will be if any competition that will be giving to Bo will be it'll be Davis, and I think TJ Finley will probably transfer out. But I digress.
I would say this. I will give this to when it comes to that whole competition thing. And a lot of people don't know. I understand everybody don't follow like we follow. I get that. But that was the whole thing from day one was, hey, this is not your job. This is why Finley is here. And people didn't understand that Finley's not there to say, oh, he's automatically going to take it. It's like, I got someone equal on my level that started SEC games, regardless of the situation, to push him to that level. Because beforehand, you had nobody.
Grant
Like
Lloyd.
nobody was gonna push him at all. It was like he knew he didn't have nothing to worry about.
You had what was the old man name that played baseball?
Right. See, you talking about Grant Lloyd, and you talking about old boy that was just happy to be on scholarship after playing 5 years of baseball.
And
he don't count.
And now he's a wide receiver at a D3 school.
Right. So it's like that's the biggest thing with them. It's like he came in to have the competition. The Georgia State week after week, it was a big competition going down to it. But TJ had a horrendous, when I say horrendous, he had a horrendous Thursday practice. And it was like, I can't. So of the 3 practices that week, he was inconsistent and looked terrible in 2 out of the 3 of them. And that's how he got that job back to continue to start against that game against LSU. But about this particular game, first of all, prayers up to you both. Get well. Prayers up to Andrew Carlson, who just tore his ACL. The kicker's gone for the year. Because he tore his ACL on the damn onside attempt.
I don't even want to talk about
So he's gone for the year. So 2 of them gone for the year. But let's talk about this 40-0 run.
40-0?
It was a 40-0. Not it was it 40-0.
I think y'all scored. Didn't y'all score somewhere?
No, they scored. Hold on, 10, 17. They had 17 at half. So we just scored. We got up to 28. It was 28-3. Shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. It was 28-3.
And it was 43-28.
It was 43-28.
It was a 40-point swing. Now, look, thank God for maturity.
Yep.
And blood pressure medicine.
Yep.
And learning.
Yep.
Because I have to listen. I mean, I feel like I know football. I don't feel like I know it to the point that some of these coaches do, to the point of detail. So a lot of times I'll be like, okay, let me listen to what not even what Horace has to say. When I hear another D1 coach that appears on the show, a former D1 coach that appears on a show that I listen to, and I hear him talk about a lot of stuff that Auburn did, staying in that soft zone with a cover 1 over the top. I mean, that part was easy to see, but also staying in that same stuff. And he said it. He said, if you're going to stay in the same stuff with Leach, he going to eat you up. If you don't mix up coverages, if you don't change something up, not to mention, but if you went back and watched the 3 down linemen on defense, I think David Ben could have went out there and got that same pass rush. And I'm not being funny when I say that. And that I ain't trying to be disrespectful to those people. I'm just being honest. Like, the dude had all day. You can't give someone as accurate as Will Rogers all day. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Not the technique, not the inside technique. Jalen Simpson got picked on. And then the coach was like, he was running the same technique. Like, he's running the same technique. So it's like, he's going to run that same technique. Mike Leach going to eat him up every day. And
Leach was just like, he found something that worked, and he did not come off that.
Why should he?
At all. And he wasn't going to come off of it.
The thing is, defensively, Auburn was lost. I mean, dropping 8. Well, dropping 8, it worked in the first half. Okay. In the beginning of the second quarter, it stopped working. Okay. It stopped.
Like, it was over with, bro.
Over with, bro. Find something else. Put 4 down linemen. Put 4 down linemen. Then you go out there and you put 6 DBs out there and you blitz one of those DBs off the edge. That I promise you. And you play cover 3. They were throwing that'll stop your slants. That was killing them in the first part of the last part of the second quarter, first part of the third quarter. That'll stop the slants. They were throwing dig routes. The safeties would have been over the top of the dig routes. You got to change it up, though. I mean, say they drop 8 every single time.
But he had Alabama protection on every play.
And the crazy, and to your point, Tuck, Mississippi State ran the ball as a total 19 times.
Well, that's done.
Like
they can.
It's almost just like you said. Once he saw what was working, he like, you know what?
Let's see.
Will Rogers threw the ball 55 times.
That's what Will Rogers been doing, though. Will Rogers is
44 completions.
Will Rogers is completing almost 80% of his passes.
Right.
on the season. I mean, that's
4 completions.
Bro.
The dude been killing it. Like, he been killing it. If you're gonna sit back there, here's the thing. Anybody on this panel can sit and see rushing 3. I don't even care about the rushing 3 part. But if you want rushing 3, dude, it was like this. Rushing 3, and then within the first second and a half of the snap, 2 of your rushers were on the ground getting demolished by 2 of the offensive linemen. You didn't even want to do like,
So basically, you got all day. Right. And then like you said, like,
what you think on that? We can't cover. We can cover for 12 seconds.
Nobody. That's why I was like, that's why I said you gotta get 4 and blitz somebody else and find somewhere else to blitz them.
They tried, bro. I'm talking about their line was like impenetrable, and all the offensive line, all the defensive line was pathetic. It was absolutely pathetic.
Let me tell you what did work though. What did work was the when they had 4 and when TD Moultrie came in and made that good old hit. But no, it's targeting. He didn't even touch his helmet. He didn't touch his helmet.
Yeah, that one target.
You're telling me we got to stop the hitting of the protect the head area? No, just be real and say you just
no. TD got called for that for one reason only.
He launched.
That's it. Because like you said, he didn't touch him above the.
He's a quarterback.
Area.
And it's another thing they go out to change. He's a quarterback, so he's trying to throw the pass. I said, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to come down to the ground and then tackle the guy? Man, get out of here, man. But anyway, what you finna say, Ben?
And I was gonna say, and to the point of what they were doing, their longest pass was 31 yards. So like they didn't even. So it wasn't even like it was a situation where he threw 6 touchdowns and 1 or 2 of them was bombs. That
he ran the Mike Leak offense. That's what they did.
They nickel and dime. They nickel and dime.
Like they said, death by 1,000 cuts.
Well, I mean, hey, it makes sense. If you dropping 8, then most likely your deep ball not gonna be there. So you got to try to hit your short 80-meter stuff.
And you ain't getting no pressure up front. He gonna find somebody
open, and you got people sitting down in the zone. You got at least 1 or 2 people sitting down in the zone, and he just like.
And then I told you in the prediction show, I said, y'all, Mike Leach is probably gonna run the ball a little bit more effectively this game. If he does a little bit more effectively, they'll probably win the game. And that's what they did in the last part of the game because they had a rush over. That was their second rush over 20 yards the whole season was against Auburn.
He knows how you got it. I mean, like Lane Kiffin said on game day, you got to give Leach credit for doing what he does. He knows how to manipulate what needs to be done. I've heard all the this and that and then this about the defense and this and that, but in the end, the offense didn't do nothing. The offense was out of rhythm, out of done, and Auburn wasn't really. They had a really good plan for the first half. But when Zach Arnett, Arnett is a damn good defensive coordinator, when he adjusted, it was over.
Yeah.
It was over. And at a 40 straight point, they should have done something different. But my point is, what you're gonna do when you got a air raid, not even air raid. I don't even want to call it air raid. When you got someone with great passing concepts like Mike Leach, and he sees how they're playing. And he sees that I'm not getting any rush. Okay, I'll take the little 3, 4, 5 yard routes. I'm gonna take this little 10 yard route. Boom, 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 boom. All I'm doing is getting first down, keeping the ball from them and moving the clock. And that was it.
And that's what I told people. I say they didn't do nothing special. Talking about what Auburn offense didn't do nothing. I said they did move the ball when they got the ball back.
Bruh, it was 28-3.
Bruh.
Yeah, I mean they did enough.
They did enough to win.
28-3
in the second half. I said, look, Auburn, Mississippi State got the ball first. They ran like 8-9 plays and it took off 4 minutes. Auburn they ran like 6 plays and came out. After that, Mississippi State ran 12 plays and took all the time off in the third quarter.
And also the biggest thing is like what people don't want to like it's 28-3. I don't care what they say. They took their foot off the gas a little bit. Yes. And when Mississippi State started to come down nickel and diamond, and even the announcers on the game said, if they score here, this is big. If I'm Auburn, I don't let them get in the end zone. They got in the end zone, made it 28-10. And Auburn went down, and that's when they messed up when they should have scored.
Yep. And
they should have scored, but then they missed the field goal. The field goal got blocked, right?
Yeah, field goal got blocked. That's what I say. Field goal got blocked, and then they took some more time off the clock, and then we get into the fourth quarter, and then that's when they
No. Hold on. You skip a quarter. I'm saying it was 28-10, and then right after the half, they came and scored right after half. So it's 28-17. You got a brand new ball game.
Oh, well, no, Carlson missed the field goal. It wasn't blocked. That's what I'm saying. Carlson.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, I'm saying they drove the ball down. They didn't capitalize on the opportunity. But
28-17. Then they get the ball back, and then they score again on their first drive in the second half. Now we got 28-24. Auburn stops them on one time, but they kept nickel and diming. Auburn got the ball back in the third quarter. Field goal is a makeable field goal for your boy, and he missed it, and he got blocked. So again, they get the ball back. They scored 31. Now it's scored 31-28. Auburn gets the ball back, and they don't do nothing on offense. So Mississippi State gets the ball back. It's like, they score again. It's 38-28. Auburn then scores again. Then Auburn moves the ball a little bit, and they get down again. They score a touchdown. Again, they tried to make it close, but they got down 3 possessions, and it was a wrap.
In the end, you still a 40-0 run. There's nothing that happened. And then, like I told somebody else, a lot of the deficiencies that Auburn had showed up. And in the end, that's what it was. A lot of deficiencies that they have been hiding and doing a great job of. The stuff that Bo has been doing to take over the game and do stuff like that, it wasn't there for them. It wasn't there for them. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's that day. And now you compound his injury, and you compound Andre's injury. It's like, all that you can do now, we're going to see how well of a coach you are now, Carson. You're going to rally your team now. They just lost their starting quarterback and their starting kicker. See where they at with it. So that's just the way it is. That's it. That's it with it. You got to take this. You got to take this L and be done with it. So that's just where we are. Dave?
Look, man. I think I chose Mississippi State in this game, didn't I?
I don't remember.
I think I did.
Chose Auburn.
I think we all did. We all with Auburn, didn't we?
And
we
said
did.
on Thursday it was dirt. That was dangerous.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, we said this. I mean, we just don't know what Mississippi State we're gonna get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just one of them teams where, I mean, shit, they Washington State. That's who they are. What Washington State was when he was at Washington State.
They're gonna win 6, 7, 8 games, and 1 or 2 of them gonna be against people that probably ain't got no business winning, and that's what he do.
Exactly. So, man, I'm not surprised that he got hot that way. I am surprised how Auburn responded when they started getting hit in the mouth. So, I don't know. You got a quarterback that's injured, like you said, a kicker injured. I don't know. I was just hoping for a little bit more excitement going into Iron Bowl. But
yeah,
again, man,
and we'll see how they show up Saturday. Because Saturday is a problem.
Yep. South Carolina on their high horse after after them beating Florida, South Carolina,
Oh well, I don't know about high horse. They got blasted by Missouri, so I don't know about.
But some teams get up for some games.
We'll see what happens with that. But we have plenty of time to talk about that later. But anyway, we're gonna go and get out of here for the night, man. We'll see y'all Thursday for the prediction show. And y'all already know Ben been celebrating his big weekend all weekend long. So he won't stop talking about it. So we're gonna hear about it on Thursday too, just so y'all know.
Yeah, if y'all follow me on Facebook, y'all saw DJ Rose Scratch, y'all saw me, y'all saw how we got down on Saturday night after the game. You know what I'm saying? It was a nice time. So
anyway, but anything else that y'all got before we get out of here?
I would just say that next time you do that live, you did tag me, but text me because I want to be a part of that. Next time.
I was drunk as hell. I wasn't trying to talk.
The question we asked 54 minutes ago. These people think you need to watch the show, Mom, because you need to go to alcoholic.
I started from the opening tap on Saturday, buddy.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ben.
Hey, Ben. I'm an alcoholic.
My name is Ben, and I'm an alcoholic.
Saturday's just one of those days. But yeah, we good. Yeah, we'll talk. But
I mean, every time we get on the stage, you got a drink in your hand.
the Saturday was different.
Drink in my 2-step.
Oh
Saturday was
Lord.
different.
Anyway, people, we'll see y'all, man. We'll see y'all Thursday, man. Hope y'all enjoy your week. We got some more stuff. Hope you enjoy the rankings that are coming out tomorrow. Well, by the time y'all get this, it'll be on Tuesday. So the rankings will be out, and then we'll talk a little bit more about that. I don't expect a lot of change up there, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, man, we'll see y'all, man, later on this week. Y'all know what to do. You know to hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube. Go to Down South Football DSFpodcast.com for all your merch and for everything like that. And nothing else, people, we're going to be out, and we'll holler at y'all later on. Peace.
All right.